Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Mr. Collins. Now in a moment we are going to make a chicken and chorizo paella together. I've washed my hands, I've cleaned the surfaces. Those are the things you need to make sure you do first, and then get all your ingredients ready, which I will show you in a moment. Come and join me.
Hi everyone, now it's time for Cooking with Mr. Collins, and today we're going to be cooking a paella. So I'm going to show you what we're going to put in our paella and how to cook it. Are you ready? Here are our ingredients. You will need some paella rice. You will also need some chopped tomatoes. I've also got a red pepper. I've got some sugar snaps. I've got some tomatoes. I've got 2 red onions. I've got paprika, smoked paprika. I've got some turmeric. I've got some saffron, and here I've got some chicken stock. If you want to make this vegetarian, you can use vegetable stock. I'm going to put chorizo in my paella. Now I know any Spanish person would tell me off for doing that, but it's my paella, so I'm going to put it in there. I've got some chicken already in the oven ready to go, and this is going to be a chicken and chorizo paella. But if you want a vegetarian paella, just take out the chicken and chorizo, put in some corn pieces and use vegetable stock, and there you go. Okay, let's have a little look at what we need to do first. So the first thing we need to do is to put on our pan. There it is. We don't want it too high, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit, but I'm not going to put any oil in, because what I'm going to do is put in my chorizo, and my chorizo will heat up nice and hot, and the oil from my chorizo will be what I'm using to cook some other things with. Now the next thing we need to do is chop up our red onions. If you're going to be doing this, you need to make sure you've got a grown-up to help you, because you will need a sharp knife, and we need to be very careful with those. Are you ready? I'm going to chop it in half and slice it into smaller pieces. There we go. And the other half. Brilliant. Can we do that with the other one as well? I think we can manage to, can't we? Let's do it. Go, and one more. Lovely. Now you can probably hear that chorizo is just starting to sizzle, so I am going to put in my red onions with the chorizo, and that's going to start heating up. As soon as it starts heating up, I'm going to get my paprika and my smoked paprika, and we're going to add that, but we don't need to do it just yet, because I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir, break up those onions a little bit, mix it up, and we need to let it heat up a bit in that pan. So while we're waiting, let's move that onto the heat a little bit more. While we're waiting, I'm going to chop up a red pepper. Okay, so when you chop up a red pepper, the way I like to do it, again being very careful with your knife, is to cut all around the top of the pepper. If you're very, very careful, you can take the top of your pepper off, just like that. It's like it's got a lid on it. Once you've done that, you can chop it straight down the middle, chop it into nice long pieces like this, and we're going to make sure we cut it into quite small pieces. This is about the size you want. There you go. I'm going to keep cutting those up, being super, super careful. Don't forget to keep stirring as well. I'm going to put my knife down to be safe. Keep stirring. Break up those onions a bit more. They're starting to look good. I can smell that as well. It smells lovely. There we go. Okay. I'm going to keep chopping up my pepper. Remember, small pieces for your pepper. I'm putting my pepper into a bowl to make sure that it's ready to cook. There we go. soon as your onion, your chorizo is starting to sizzle, you now want your red pepper. So we need to make sure it's completely cut up. Don't lose any of that red pepper from the top. You can eat that as well. All chopped up and ready. Got a nice big bowl. I am going to put this bowl of pepper into my pan. There we go. And that's going to keep sizzling away. There we go. Give that a big stir. Wonderful. Oh, that's starting to smell really good in there now. And the oil from the chorizo is helping to cook this. If you're not having chorizo in a paella, you will need a little bit of cooking oil, and your grown-ups can help you with that. Now, you will need your paprika. You can see when you open your paprika, usually you have a little shaking part here. You can shake some paprika over your chorizo and vegetables. Don't put too much on. And again, shake some smoked paprika over the top, not too much. Give that a bit of a stir like this. There we go. Keep stirring. Okay. While that's cooking away in there, we need to open our chopped tomatoes because it's in a tin. So let me find my tin opener. You might need a grown-up to help you with this, or you might be really good at opening tins. Open that tin up. There it goes. You need to just take the lid off. This is very sharp. Get a grown-up to help you with this part. We just have that ready for when we need it a little bit later. We are going to keep cooking these until they're ready. Maybe another minute or so. Just needs to just start cooking. It doesn't need to be cooked all the way through. Just so it's started looking like it's cooked. So I'm going to get some oil out because we're going to need a bit of oil as well. I'm going to turn my heat off while I do this next bit. This bit is for a grown-up to do. I've got my bowl and I'm going to push all of my cooked ingredients into this bowl. This bowl is going to fill up, which I knew was going to happen, which is why I've got another bowl just here. There we go. Fill that one up too. Okay. Scrape everything out of the bowl. Excellent. Now, we don't need those yet. What we're going to do next is get our bowl ready for our rice. So we are going to turn the heat back on. While that's working, there we go, and turn it down. We don't need it to be high. This is a grown-up's job to do. Excellent. We need about 350 grams of paella rice. If you've got some scales at home, work with an adult to put 350 grams of paella rice in. 350, 300. I'm going to put mine straight in because I know exactly how much we need to put in. I've already measured it. There we go. And into that rice, we're going to add our 1 litre of stock. You can hear that sizzle because the pan is very, very hot. There we go. Make sure that your grown-up's still helping you with this part. Now, we've got our rice and our stock in the pan. And just give it a tiny little stir around like this. And add into the pan our entire tin of chopped tomatoes. Like this. Then give it a really good stir. Just be very careful because we don't want the pan to move. I'm holding on to the handle to make sure it doesn't. You'll see that that looks very, very red now. Now, I like this bit. I am going to add some turmeric. Turmeric is very, very yellow. So I'm going to get 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I'm going to drop it into
my mixture and give it a big stir. You'll see that red mixing with that yellow. It's going to start looking a bit orange. Your rice will look a bit orange. If you want to add a little bit of turmeric, you can. I'm just going to add another little dash of turmeric. Keep mixing that in. There we go. If you have saffron at home, you can add some saffron. You don't have to add saffron. I like to add a little bit of saffron. Saffron comes in little strands like this. You just need to add a few little strands. Drop it into here. That's it, a few strands. Lovely, I didn't need to get that many strands. I'm going to put those back in there. Okay, good. Now, we don't need to do anything else for a moment, so I'm going to pause the video and we're going to come. Okay, we're back and it's bubbling away. As you can see, it's quite an orange colour. So now I've got our chorizo, our onion and our pepper, and I'm just going to put that into the pan like this. And I'm going to add the tomatoes that I've already chopped up. I've also got a few sugar snap peas here as well. I'm going to add those as well. I'm going to give that a big stir so everything goes in. You can see that the rice is looking nice and yellow now. There it is. Give that a big stir in together. That's looking pretty good if you ask me. Now, I've got one more thing to add, and that's some chicken that I cooked earlier. So I'm going to add this chicken with my clean hands into the pan. And in a moment I'm going to push these right down into the rice. I'm going to add all of them in here. There we go. There it is. Use my spoon to push it down a bit. Right down into the rice. And make sure that's all covered up in a moment. I've added a little bit of orange juice as well. If you want to add some orange juice, you can. And then it's just a matter of leaving it on a low heat until it's cooked. So we'll leave this for a little bit, usually about 10 minutes. We'll come back and check, and when it's ready, we'll show you what it looks like, and then hopefully you can have a go too.